Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Swedish-French interior decoration talks. We are together from 10 to 12 and 15 this morning with an ambitious agenda. We are very glad to have you with us this morning. My name is Soline Raymond. I work for the French Trade Commission of the French Embassy. So our mission basically is to help French companies getting connection with professionals in the Nordic countries. The Swedish-French interior decoration talks this morning is a web seminar, as you know, and it's part of the digital initiative French Design Corner in Sweden, which is a pop-up showroom for professionals, especially created for the Nordic countries. It gathered 12 French manufacturers and design houses with products and collection that we hope can be interesting for your interior decoration projects or for the assortment of your store. But before presenting you the agenda for this morning, let me introduce you to Ivan Boshi-Virman for some welcoming words. Ivan, please. Your microphone, Ivan.
Much better with can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So I start again. So thank you very much, Soline, for this very nice introduction. So my name is Ivan Boki-Virman. I'm in charge of the Business France for the Nordic countries. So I'm based in Stockholm. I'm really glad to be with you today, and very proud to share with you the know-how of 12 French participating companies, as well as the expertise of our famous speakers from France and from Sweden. You will see we have a very nice program for you today. So I really hope that thanks to these morning talks, you will get the opportunity to learn more about upcoming projects, new ideas, and opportunities for collaboration. So this digital event is the follow-up of an event we organized 2 years ago at the residence of the ambassador, French ambassador. It was really a successful premiere, and unfortunately it was not possible for us to do this event again because of the sanitary situation, as you know. But we hope that this morning, this seminar will, and the digital pop-up showroom will generate the same quality of contact between the French brands and the professional in the decoration, architecture, and design sector in the Nordic countries. So one more thing before I leave you with the experts. If you haven't visited the pop-up showroom, I really warmly recommend you to do it. It's very inspirational. So that's all for me, Soline. I give you the floor again. And I wish you very, very fruitful meeting and inspiring conversations.
Thank you, Ivan. Yeah, so let's start the seminar now. We hope you all will get inspired by our speakers. We are very happy to have them with us this morning. We will have 2 presentation sessions around trends and projects in the Nordic, and 2 pitches sessions to discover French brands for collaboration. So Lotta Ahlvar will start on initiatives that are going to stay after the pandemic. Then we are honored to welcome the prominent French designer Matali Crasset to talk on her creations and vision of design. We have, after our first pitch session with 6 French brands, then back to the presentation with Oskar Norelius at White Architecture. And Oskar will present forefront sustainable projects with wood as core material. And then Stefan Nilsson will highlight the new boundaries for more sustainability in the decoration and design sector. Then the second pitches session with 6 other French brands. And at last, the French ambassador, so the ambassador of France to Sweden will address us the clothing word at 12 o'clock. And we will have, we hope, sometimes for the question. So for the comfort of everyone and for the quality of this webinar, we would appreciate if you could shut down your microphone and your camera when you are not talking. And then for all of you to know, we are recording this webinar this morning. Maud, please. Maud, please. Can you shut down your microphone, please?
Du coup, il y a 76, 77, 78, 79, 80.
People are so still. We're still here.
Oh, yes.
But the host disappeared.
Yes, yes. We're sorry. I don't know what's happening. There's a small problem. You know, that's the direct. When it's always like that when these kind of seminars are are on direct and etc. So,
Maybe we should start
is
with the
there a
first
possibility
presentation?
to? Where is Soline? If Soline is not here, maybe we can also already start with the first presentation.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna propose. So
Okay,
maybe
very
Lotta, you're up.
I'm ready.
Let me just share my screen so you can have your presentation.
So please now, I don't know if I think I had a small I will
So you need to access my taking control.
Okay, can you ask again, please? Because I don't see.
Yes.
Or I can just give it to you.
Otherwise, I can always ask you to change the slide if it doesn't work. But do you want me to redo it?
Please, because I can't see when you asked me.
Because now my button is pushed.
Okay, no, there's a. Okay, well,
So you did not access. Your control was denied.
Oh, okay, sorry, but I don't see the notification. Sorry, so maybe you can just tell me when to switch the slide.
I can just tell you, and this is just my first slide, but I was asked to give a few examples of initiatives that were occurred during the pandemic and that we think would be here to stay, and also inspiring retail projects. And then I was thinking it became initiate and inspiration, and I think also the word intention needs to go there. And when you start to Google those, you realize there are lots of famous people who has worked with these words for inspiration, like Albert Einstein, Gandhi, and a few other people. So I wanted to add intention also, because there might be some intention with these crazy times that we have been living with. Let me explain why I say this. So we can change slide. And I think this picture kind of sums it all. It's a piece of art and it's made by Sila Ramnek, who is mainly famous for her mosaic artworks. This was presented during November when it was really rainy and gray in Sweden. And it's an apron, and of course we are still staying home, which is kind of charming. You see people's home in the background, and you can see a cat pass by somebody's screen, and we're touching up our appearances, and sometimes people are very still, and I'm normally a very active person, so I will try to still remain my body language with this presentation. And I think it's also interesting that you put this, somebody needs to microphone, I think. But I think it's interesting that she put this number tag on, because I think the year of the pandemic was like a race. You didn't really know what you were racing or competing against, but you were racing against time. And of course, now we have the vaccine and more people are getting their first injections. But I think it kind of sums it up. And of course, during the year, sales went down a lot for many companies. But for interior decoration, instead, sales in Sweden increased a lot from May and going on until now. So while we have been at home, we have actually redone our homes. We have bought a lot of things online. And I think maybe that's one of the things that would have happened anyway. So this pandemic was really a catalyst of whatever was going to take place anyway. And lots of people have been baking while they were working, and people have also, except from buying lots of things for interior design for their homes, they've been buying other things. And I think this kind of apron is also a bit kinky, sorry for saying so, but also the sales of adult toys increased a lot. So obviously we have been in the bedrooms and we have been in the kitchen baking and doing other things. So kind of summing up this year in a funny way. Thank you, Sila Ramnek, for that. So let's change the slide. And I will guide you through art, co-creation projects, woods, breath, Sloyd. And I think we're one of the few countries in the world that really has governmental support for the Sloyd business. Kindness, circular design, of course, spiritual thinking, and ASMR. So let's take my first picture. And for those of you living in Sweden, I don't know if you have been to this amazing art concept. It's all about art, but it's also about design, and it's all for women by women. And this fantastic gallerist, Paula Bjeringer, she started this co-creation space together with a few women, and now it's a whole bunch of women who has managed to do this amazing form a retail area into a wonderful art space where people actually, or these women, where they actually do work. And they also have their own performances, and they have their sales. And it's on Linnégatan 4, and since the landlord couldn't rent this space, Paula has managed to get access to this space for a longer period. So if you have not been to Linnégatan, please do go there and have a look. Some amazing projects, and you can imagine the power of women doing this. And I think it's also interesting because if you look at the Swedish universities, it's now more women getting approved to the Swedish universities than men, and it's increasing really, really rapidly. So it's soon up to 60% women in the Swedish universities. So we will have a shift, I think, in who's in power. Okay, so the next slide. And then I wanted to talk about co-creation, because I think co-creation started like something that was fun for many creative companies, but you see it moving more into other companies as well now. And the guy leaning to the wall on the picture of the left is Matti Klinell, and he was the brain behind bringing in so many designers for the renovation of the National Museum in Sweden. And today, I think the whole project sums up more than 30 Swedish designers. And his idea was, okay, I get this really nice commission, but I want to invite my friends, and my friends wanted to invite their friends, and so on. So it's a beautiful example of really, really modern co-creation, all the public areas for the National Museum. And this is Matti in an exhibition that he is having at the moment with a few of the objects that are actually also made for the National Museum. And it's in Värmlands Museum if you're out traveling this summer. I'm particularly fond of his bench that he designed himself for the National Museum. And to the right, there is a picture of something that I'm involved with, and it's a historic building up in the north of Sweden. And it's actually become also a co-creation together with the people working there, and involving one of Europe's largest wood 3D printer, and also Hemslöjden, or the Slöjd Association in Sweden. So I hope to be able to tell you a bit more about that, but it's so interesting because it will be chefs, it will be kids, it will be normal employees, it will be creatives, it will be researchers taking place in this co-creation project. So I'm really thrilled about that. So let's change to the next slide. So of course these things would have happened before, but I think the pandemic really increased the speed of the process. Traveling in Sweden, for you who are visiting us here digital today, we have lots of forest and we have lots of lumber. We're really rich in paper and pulp as a nation. And it's so interesting to see that so many people are talking about natural materials again. And actually, we're building really, really high buildings in this material in Sweden again, which is interesting. We can change the next slide. So there's everything from housing to many stories of buildings. And this is a picture from the exam exhibition at Beckman School of College of Design. And it's interesting because it's really a design education. They work mainly with processing objects and things like that. But there are so many architecture related projects this year. And I especially like this one a lot, I have to say. So this environment is supposed to be a restaurant made out of only wood. And she also wanted to bring in lots of craft and doing it the process way, like you're almost doing slöjd. So let's go for the next picture. And I guess I could easily show you a whole slideshow with only pictures of students' work using this wonderful material that we have actually growing right around the corner from where we live, many of us in Sweden. So from woods to, next slide, the wood or the forest. And I think the forest really became a symbol for well-being during the pandemics. And being able to go out in the Swedish woods and breathe the fresh air. So the wood and the forest has become more than just the material. And of course, well-being has become a really, really huge, crucial factor. And I think it will actually influence a lot. And it will also influence how our shopping malls and things will look in the future. So I will get back to that later. We can change the next slide. And one thing that did increase during this pandemic was the outdoor wild swimming in Sweden. And since we have a long winter, you have seen many, many postings on Instagrams with friends and people doing the winter swimming. I love doing it. I've done it ever since I was a child. And I think it's so interesting that's now becoming a huge thing. And when it comes to staying in the cold water, you need to be able to breathe. So let's take the next slide. And this is actually the first breathwork studio that has opened in Stockholm. And it looks like a normal yoga shala, could be anywhere, I think, in the world, but it's actually not meant to be a yoga studio at all. So this place is completely devoted for breathing exercises. And I think it's so interesting in comparison to many of the yoga shalas, which are mainly down in basements or places like that. This is in a really nice location, and also the design of the whole place has really, I think it looks like something you have not seen before. And also that you have daylight into the studio. So this is all about deep relaxation and finding peace of mind. And when you see all the shopping malls in Sweden, and I've been traveling a little bit through Sweden during this period, it's really empty spaces. So being well and feeling well is a big thing. And thinking about that, I think the daybed is furniture that we will see a lot of again. And this is also another student's project by Beckmans College of Design. And I also love this little drawing. Where did you find that? I've been searching for it everywhere. And he has happiness on his t-shirt, and he says, I created it myself. And I think during the pandemic, we learned that happiness and peace of mind, you have to create it on your own, and it's not quite easy. So we will definitely see different new services in our shopping malls. So beside all the breathing and breathwork studios, the yoga shalas, the exercise places, next to the nail parlors and the hairdressers, we will see different kind of services. We will also see lots of people doing moderations for and supporting people. So moving from breathing into slöjd. I have a former background within the fashion world, and this is one of the most fashionable Swedish women I know. She's a trained stylist, and she's been awarded millions of prizes, and she's worked international. But at the age of 50, she had a completely new career when the house of Balenciaga found her, and now she's the muse of the company. And she even has her own replica in life size in the Milan shop, which is interesting. But I really almost was taken aback when I found her postings on Instagram, because she's started to do slöjd during the pandemic. So this knife is her own wood carving. So the increase of doing things on your own, by your own hands, it's amazing what a huge effect the pandemic has had on our minds, that we want to do things and create things on our own. So let's take the next slide. And also with the local perspective, the ceramics to the left, I think they're really wonderful, but he's really the craftsman behind this. He's really like, I am Malmö based. So if you want to market my goods, it's important that you mention the city of Malmö. And the same thing with this glass designer. He has his studio in Gustavsberg in Stockholm, where many arts and crafts people are working. But he's really proud of his heritage, and it's Norrköping. So I think it's a different mindset how we promote ourselves also. We're really proud of our local heritage. So next slide. And talking about slöjd and handicraft, I think this could almost be like an exhibition of maybe Lee Edelcourt or something, but it's a shop in London, and it's called The New Craftsman. And it's a beautiful shop, and it's an association with different craftsmen throughout the whole of Great Britain. And it's really one of my favorite visits in London, as well as there are many similar shops like this throughout the world. But I think we will see more of them, because we are interested in knowing where things are from and who made them. And I think we also are interested to see the slower process of things a lot more. In Paris, there's a shop called Empreinte, very close to Republic, where you live, Matali. So I think it's a similar concept, and you find them all over the world, actually. Sometimes you have to look for them, but I think they will be more common. So let's choose to the next, move to the next slide. And this wall suddenly appeared in my neighborhood, and it was very pink on a gray day, the wall of kindness. And what I think the pandemic actually did, it really increased the speed of being more generous to each other in society, because we had to do it during the pandemic. We had to take care of ourselves. We had to take care of our elders. We had to take care of each other. And maybe it's a really good marketing PR campaign, but I really love the idea of wall of kindness. And you see many of these kind of initiatives. So, and it says then, for you who don't read Swedish, grab a jacket if you need, and give us a jacket if you have one left over. So the idea was to circulate this closet. So next slide, please. Yeah, and there are so many funny, like everyday examples. To the left, there is this guy who is promoting himself as a bicycle fixer. He says, we're coming home to you, we do everything you need, and we do it with love from Skåne. And I think he's kind of charming because he's really saying that, well, the guys from Skåne, they are the best. So taking care and mending things, of course, it's nice to the world because we don't need to produce more things if we take care of the things we have already. The picture to the right, it's the seminar that I was a part of organizing. And it's a seminar that was through Svensk Form, the Association of Design in Sweden. And it was quite fun because you could attend. The only thing you had to do was to bring something in textile that needed mending. And then we did a workshop together. And the workshop was for 1.5 hours, and people were with a needle mending different things that they had with the help of this workshop leader. And we had 120 people doing this, and in the end, all of them showed up their pieces live in their views, and that was really powerful. So let's switch to the next picture.
And I think, Lotta, it will not be soon be Dax.
I know. Yeah. But there are many examples.
Yeah, I know, and we could hear you all the morning. So yeah.
Let me just take a few more really quickly. This is one example by Heart Art. And next slide. Keep on going. We can stop, continue. And this one I wanted to show. It's example of H&M, where you can actually recycle your sweater. And if you have not been to Drottninggatan, I think it's really worth a visit. And it's the first shop where you can actually hand in a garment. So Jane Goodall is having her green sweater, and the green shirt and the green sweater on the wall is what came out of her old stuff. So it's a very interesting retail example of being kind to nature. And we can just stop at the next one. Yeah. When I said that many things during the pandemic, they were already going on. So the pandemic was the catalyst for many, many things. And of course, we had Greta and we had the school strikes for a better climate. And I think being a designer or an architect at the moment, it's really interesting because when Ursula von der Leyen declares there's a new Bauhaus, we couldn't live in a better time. So, well, think about that, and we're already on the move. And I think the pandemic, the good thing is that it slowed up some bad processes, but it speeded up some good processes. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, what an inspiring conclusion, and we hope you are right. Thank you for being with us this morning, Lotta. And now we will continue, and I'm very, very honored to have with me this morning Matali Crasset, French industrial designer known for eclectic design, and Matali worked in multiple fields, and from cooperation with IKEA to project with some cities, and of course working with industrial design. So please welcome to Matali Crasset. And we will have a discussion together this morning. But maybe, Matali, it's easier to please, can you tell us more about your background, studies, and important collaboration that you want to highlight?
Yeah, hello. So my name is Matali. I'm from Paris. I'm living in the Belleville area, the east of Paris. And in fact, I come from a small village of 80 inhabitants in the Champagne area. And then I had to go to Paris to do a design school. And I was fortunate to be able to enter into the l'École nationale supérieure de création industrielle, which is a very interesting design school. And then I decided to do my first experience in Italy, working with Denis Santachiara. And then I spent 5 years working with Philip Stark, mainly working on electronics goods on the project of Thomson Multimedia. So I'm gonna show this morning more specific work. I mean, the pandemic also in fact, ask us to be more focused and more specific, and also I will show how I like also to push a lot my artistic world inside the project.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but but yeah, please. I was interesting also to highlight with you this morning, yeah, your latest project, and what I heard also, it's you are been working the latest month with a project around inner nature, and which will be also the thematic for this morning. But
yeah,
please.
so I chose this thematic because it's quite large and also can take a lot of different materialization. So I try to
Take the control.
yeah, I take it.
I've given you the control, so you should be able to move the slides. You can try.
Yeah, I push.
Well, if it doesn't work, you can just tell me when to move the slides.
It could be very. I have to push where exactly with the mouse because
in the right corner of your picture normally.
Yeah, it's what I'm doing. I start again to control. Sorry about it. It was functioning and then I don't know why. Are you doing something right now? Or? So let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Mm.
Yeah, sorry. So the first project I will show is about it's about an inside project, but in a big building. This building has been made by Renzo Piano. It's for a high school. It's for l'ENS Paris, and it's in big campus in Paris, Saclay. And as you can see, it's a large atrium, and when you enter into this one, you see the floor, which is livid orange, and it's like being in a liquid, in fact. And what I wanted to place into this space, I have to precise that it's a project, it's a public commissions within the frame of the 1% artistic. And so it's a competition. And I win this competition by proposing a structure which could be moved and also some pieces of furniture. And then I wanted to bring a kind of different islands. You can go on. Next slide. Yeah, like this one, in order to be able to meet together and to bring a sense of centrality in this big place, and also to have like a kind of an intimacy, even if the structure are still very open to the living space. So the idea was to also present different temporalities, so you can stay longer, or in some places you can stay longer, and also different typology of comforts and way of being together. So here you can really move the piece of comfort, and then in other parts, can you go on? Yeah, like that. It's more the idea to have like an open house where you have 4 different table, and you are allowed to you could be inside or you could be outside. So it's a different seat. Go on. Yeah, like that. So as you can see, all these structure are placed on a platform, so it could be roll and place away, and and they can reuse the entire space if they want. So I wanted this place to be dynamic. We installed it just when the COVID was there, so you have nobody on the pitch yet. You can go on. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the difference. This one is more like a small bar, and this one at the end is it's called lâcher prise. So it's meaning this one you can really relax and stay together once more, but it's more inviting to stay longer. And so for that, as you can see in the carpets, I use a kind of drawings to symbolize this idea of centrality and island. It's used also for the carpet like that. And you see here you see a kind of modular system for seating. Maybe you could go on and see, yeah. So you can place the different parts around the carpet. It's create like a pattern to help you to do the configurations. And then the next, yeah, I did also this long table to be able to work together and have a pleasant time together. And you can divide them and organize smaller table around. As you see, I did specific furniture for this place. Yeah, and that's it. So this was the first project inside, and now we are going to another project, but outside. I wanted to show this because it's a new company. It's about geothermal energy. It's three young engineer decided to create this company. And I was invited, in fact, to make a sign to be placed in the lobby to be able to explain what this technology is about when a promoter is selecting this technology. No, just go on. Go back, please. As you can see, this is a totem, and you can see how the system is functioning. You see the blue parts and the red parts on the base. This is how the geo energy is functioning in the earth, because right now 70% of the energy consumed by a building is used for heating and air conditioning. We already have developed a lot of systems to generate energy with sun, air, and water, but in fact, there is a massive amount of energy also from the earth. And so in this technology, we could really have the opportunity to place this technology in an urban place, because it's not taking so much space, you know. So it's very effective to be placed in a dense urban area. So this is the first part of my work. I was invited to do this totem to know, for the people to know about this technology. And then let's go on. I was invited to do also a kind of installation, artistic installation around the first prototype. So here you could see the machine in the center, but it's not visible normally, but just here it's the first prototype. And I wanted to emphasize the idea of being all together around this system, these techniques, and like creating a sitting space with this kind of skyline of a city, because it's really powerful, and it could be connected to more than one buildings. And the interesting point is that it's caring about the heating, but also about the cooling of the building in summer. So you could go on. So this is the first step of the company. The promoter could come here and see how it's functioning, and sit and have discussion of how they can use this new technology and use them for their own building. So this was the last the project. Now I'm gonna talk more about interior, a last interior. It's called Rainbow and Bosquet, and it's in Paris. It's not a big flat. It's 80 meters square, and but it's very interesting because the idea was to open perspective, because you have a view on the Tour Eiffel, and you also have a view on Montparnasse. And this view on the Montparnasse was not visible because it was directly open to one bedroom. So I decided to open largely the space, and to have like that a very deep space. As you can see, I'm really working with the idea of having something like a white background, and then to push the colors. So you have this double exposure, and I create a way to make the terrace accessible. Maybe you could go on. Yeah. And this was a small look on the terrace. And then, as you can see, I try not to. I have a long system for storing, which go on from the one side to the other side, and becoming the kitchen, becoming the entry, and becoming some storage for the other parts. And then this is the part where you could magnify a little bit hospitality. I like the idea of having something a little bit different, to have a kind of levitation with like a double day bed clips together. And because the person living there really like to sit and discuss and have an exchange with the others. And so the idea was to really emphasize this idea, but also having the possibility to use this place for welcoming somebody if he wants to stay there for a night. So maybe we could go on, and this system allowed to gain a kind of intimacy. So you're sure during the day are surrounded by colors. Go on, and then go on, and then you will see, yeah, that the system is allowed you to create like an inner space and to find a kind of intimacy. This is the next slide is showing the way you feel being inside the rhythm of color. And then the next, yeah, and this is how it's providing a kind of platform for being together, and in the same time discussing about the challenges we have to face right now with the COVID and so on.
Yeah, we see that you worked a lot with the color and with the transformable spaces, and also with the ludic approach to it. So, and you are often also associated to an agile approach of design and way of working in your projects. I was maybe to end our discussion thinking, what do you think will be the heritage of this period? As we saw, even if it was the pandemic, you had a very interesting project, and it affects you in a you have had very interesting projects that you realized. But what do you think there will be the heritage of this period for in the design world?
I think we have to fight for culture, and maybe the next project will show how we can emphasize places where we could find culture, and it's a bookshop. We face a very difficult phase during the COVID with the idea of not being able to buy books and to going to bookshops. And so to create this space in a small museum, in a big museum in Dijon, I look at a film, a famous film in François Truffaut called Fahrenheit. It's a very interesting film because it's a dystopia, and in this country, in this country, it's not allowed to read anymore because the book is the enemy. And so the firemen, as you see, are in fact used to destroy the book, because you are not anymore allowed to read. And so I like this to start from this story to understand what it means, a country without books. And then in the sequence, as you can see, the next slide, yeah, you see the two main characters. And one is a fireman, and he gets in touch with Clarice, teacher, and then they realize that they love books, and they little by little start to fight against this system. And you can see this train, and Truffaut wanted to go much more into a science fiction movie with this train. It's an existing train in France. It was a prototype. And you can see in the slide after, and then, yeah, this is the real prototype. And in fact, I say, yeah, I get my starting point. It was evident. I didn't want to do a bookshop with storage or book on the wall, on bookshelves on the wall. I want to have something which could change. And that's it. I will do a monorail. Could you go on the next slide, please? And this is a monorail. So it's a tiny bookshop, because the idea is to show mainly the edition of Les Presses du Réel, created by the Consortium Museum. And as you can see, you have this wagon where you have the books on both sides. And then I use the structure to support the monorail in order to place also other books. You can go on, and in the center, the idea, and this is it's mechanical, so it's very easy. You can change the places of this wagon, and you can also invite people to make for a presentation of a book in the center. Also by adding foldable chair. And as you can see, I wanted the space to disappear in a way, the square space to disappear into this kind of graduation of colors, because I really like colors. And also I wanted to bring this kind of happiness, being in contact with all these books and art pieces.
Interesting, very impressive project and very creative project. And thank you very much, Matali, for being with us this morning. I think we could also talk all the day with you and get inspired by your project and realization. We are very glad that you could join us this morning. I was also thinking, if you have some question, don't hesitate to use the chat on the and to ask your question. We will try to answer them at the end of the webinar this morning. And then now we are going to make a small pitch session for 6 of our French company that are part of the project French Design Corner in Sweden. So it's a hard exercise, but we all train, and it will get you a small and very very in a nutshell the know-how of 6 of those company part of the project. So we will start with Duvivier Canapé. So I think we will launch the presentation, and then it will be you. So Ludovic, please introduce us the company Duvivier.
First, thank you very much. Thank you very much for organizing this event, which give us as a French company the opportunity to introduce ourselves to the Swedish companies. So, as you know, as you experienced it yourself, the market situation has greatly evolved over the past few months, and I think what one of the tendency which could really observe is really the tendency for people to move away from branded items, which and in a way that's allow us to come back to what your previous person was saying, to move away from products which offer only a uniformity at actually a premium price, and tend to be looking at a bespoke item product which are sustainable, using quality material, of course, emphasizing the perfection of the execution, and which also remain competitive. That's really what people seem to be focusing on over the past few weeks and months. And that's for Maison du Vivier an opportunity, because that's what we've been offering since 1840. The company has been celebrating its 180th birthday last year. And basically, our expertise, which again has been developed since then, allow us to have the skill, the know-how, granting us an outstanding quality, of course, in terms of sourcing the most exclusive material, exclusive and sustainable material. We are extremely careful of our carbon footprint, and of course to exalt them through our craftsmanship. Maison du Vivier offer a completely tailored and bespoke approach thanks to our workshops, which are based in France, which allow us to study and to realize any specific requirements to match the customer expectation. And the last point, I was mentioning it earlier on, it's our price point, which again is significantly more competitive than premium brands available on the market. So if you want, and if we want to summarize, we can say that Maison du Vivier offer a bespoke collection made in France by hand, in our workshop, using the most exclusive material which are sustainable at a competitive price. And the summary of this expertise allowed us to develop partnership with various prestigious B2B partnership, in terms of hospitality, like the Taiwan Opera or different high-end restaurants, but also in public areas. We have furnished the Salon Bleu in the Élysée Palace, where the French president lives. Various embassy, Matignon, you can see actually a picture of our former Prime Minister Edouard Philippe, and various also residential places, among others in Taiwan. And we are also, of course, also present in the retail environment with different partnership with various retailers. So that's a very quick summary of what we do. And again, as we will be happy to assist you further, should you need any further clarification.
Thank you very much, Ludovic. Thank you for today. Hard way to present in only 3 minutes, but you did it very well. Thank you. And now, please come on stage, Frank from the agent company Mosaic that is representing Fairmob in the Nordic countries. Please, Frank, now it's your turn to present us Fairmob.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the event. I think it's great, something happening also that we can have some inspiration. And from a point of view, it was nice to see your inspiration this morning. And I would like to present you the company Fairmob, which we are agent, Mosaic, but we are agent also on other French company like La Fuma, JLD, Home Spirit in Denmark, and others. But the first thing about Fairmob is the name Fairmob. Fair it means iron, and mob mobilier. That means this furniture. That means the story in a few words is clear. Fairmob is making French garden furniture in metal, which is made in France, and they are based next to Lyon. And for around 30 years ago, Bernard Rebier took the company. At this time, it was a little, we can say, workshop with 10 people. today is a big industrial group, and it went from, as you see, 1 million euro to 78 million last year. So it's quite a big, nice story. And what is why this success? First, it's due to the style. We have different style. We are not just in one case. We have like timeless, which is quite good for Scandinavia, but also the classic one with Sweden, for example, with the classic houses. And we have contemporary, with much more modern. And just a little thing, the white chair you see on the right on contemporary is a stripe, is a chair made, designed by Matali Crasset, who just spoke before. So it was a nice thing. Also, you have to know we work with different designer. Each year it comes 40 new products, and sometimes it comes some iconic product. One of the last time furniture we did, it was with Frederic, who has made the Luxembourg chair. And now the last product with an icon is a ballad lamp, you see. So as you see, we do also other things than furniture. The next. Fermob is known also for one thing, is a color. We can say we have a unique concept, is a trendsetter on it. We have 24 colors. Each year we take one or two out of a palette and we come with new ones. So that means we are always on, we can say on a trend. Also, one thing is important, the painting we use is very good for milieu, is no poison, and when we produce it, nothing go to the nature. And also, Fermob is made of metal furniture. That means everything is recyclable. So it's very good for the future. Fermob is, we have really focused not to just sell furniture like other stars. We decided also to make a complete atmosphere. We call it the Fermob recipe, where you have parasol, lighting, and accessory. So when you make your project, you feel like you sell a kind of story. The next, please. So today we focus on the contract market. We are quite present on, for example, hotel, restaurant. As you see on the left, we have folding product, very simple and quite inexpensive, and we have very nice lounge and also some sun lounger. And for example, in Sweden, we work with Hotel Diplomat, which has, yes, and the next. Also, we work with public spaces because the furniture are very strong and they can resist to it. And here you see in Europe with Luxembourg and Bistro, also in Japan. But in Sweden, we work a lot with commune like Umeå Kommun or Lund and Västerås. Also, we have a healthcare area where we sell quite a lot. And it's, for example, now in South Africa, which Nelson Mandela. But last year, actually, it's a bit quick.
Time to conclude, Frank.
Okay, but just to know that, to tell you that we are very happy to be in Sweden, which is a very big area for the contract, and you like the colors and the creation of Fermob. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank. And now we will. It will be time for Glass Variation and Sandrine to present this very interesting brand for glass furniture. Please, Sandrine.
Hello, good morning. My name is Sandrine Gauthier and I'm the co-founder of Glass Variation. Glass Variation is the design brand of Sevino Glass, a French company owned by its managers and based north of France and next to Lyon. We have an experience of more than a century in processing flat and curved glass. We are able to create unique bespoke pieces for domestic or commercial premises, and we love working with architects and interior designers. Glass Variation is a newcomer in glass furniture, proposing high-end, exclusive and contemporary design collections. It is the combination of our know-how in glass manufacturing and the collaboration with talented designers. Our first collection was launched in 2019 with Mix, a coffee table with 2 glass panels, and Cube, glass showcases. We also have Look, a standing mirror, and Ladder or console. and Icon, a collection of mirrors with Vectan leather. Our latest collection, Monologue, was designed by Studio Exercice, a duo of talented architects who used glass as the only material. The outstanding pieces of this collection demonstrate the exceptional capabilities of glass to create an impression of purity and ethereal lightness. They conceived the Monologue armchair in extra clear tempered glass, an invisible, surprising and yet comfortable armchair, a long shelving unit in grey tinted tempered glass, and a round coffee table. The Monologue armchair, shelving units and table are assembled by hand by a master glazier using UV bonding. They were all exhibited at the Biennale Emergence in Pantin and by Please Do So in Lille World Design Capital in October 2020. And the last piece is the Monologue freeform mirror inspired by the natural shape of water. I want to emphasize a few specific points about glass variation. All our pieces are 100% manufactured in France in small series, and they have a very fine finish. Second, of all, our customers always have the freedom to customize their piece of furniture within a wide choice of glass variation. And we are also the first brand to offer ecological and sustainable mirrors. lead-free and free of volatile organic compounds. They are certified by an independent organization for their life cycle. They are also manufactured in short circuit in the north of France. So with these collections and the next one, designed by Bina Betel with a very specific and delicate style, a glass variation will be happy to go Nordics and especially in Sweden, and will be happy to develop a long-term partnership with glass variation, the unique glass experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandrine. Very, very interesting. And now please welcome on stage for François at Home Spirit.
It's
sorry, it's Grand Forge. Sorry, Liliana.
No problem, Celine. Good morning. I'm Liliana Ford, the export director of Grand Forge. Thank you for your presence this morning and for the organization of this event. Grand Forge is a French company specialized in manufacturing of luxury balusters and accessories for railings and balustrades. We are a family company. Next. 72 years old. We have a very large range of products and work with different metals: stainless steel, wrought iron, cast iron, stainless steel with PVD coating, and solid brass in different finishings as well. We work internationally and have distributors in 50 countries all over the world. Next, we perpetuate the tradition of art iron work for decades, but we strive as well to reinvent ourselves continually. Previous slide, please, Jean. Here you can see fragments of our carbon collection made of carbon fiber, easily malleable and very light product. We try to launch one new collection per year. You can discover them on our website and in our general catalog as well. Next. What our brand stands for is sustainability, technical precision, and high-end quality. Here you can see a concert hall that was realized in Turkmenistan, Central Asia. We provided all brass handrails and metal accessories for this project. And we have several projects of this kind all over the world: hotels, private villas, institutional buildings. Next. Our belief is that what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. We always try to meet the expectations of our customers and provide the best products in terms of quality, finishing, and technical point of view. Next. For 10 years now, we work on special demands. We are able to develop tailor-made products in short or large series. We have our internal design and engineering department. Next, we develop 3D prototyping before launching the manufacturing, and we can go to the final installation of the products. Manufacturing period is quite short, between 6 to 8 weeks time, so we could be real technical support for your railing projects. What makes us special next is the ability of understanding and respecting the requirements of the contractors, the ability to integrate advanced technologies into product design, and the experience of matters and materials. Next, all our standard products are available in 2D. We have a CAD library and could be easily integrated to your drawings. So if you have a project, don't hesitate to submit it to us. We will be happy to study the feasibility. We can develop any kind of metal product, not only for railings, but also decorative items, hardware, furniture. The spectrum of our know-how is quite large. Thank you for your attention and hoping to have the occasion to collaborate with you in the near future.
Maybe the person who is like vacuum cleaning her office or apartments, please turn off your phone, your mic, please. Thank you so much.
And please, now it's time for François at Home Spirit.
Thank you, Soline. And first of all, thanks for the efficient organization of the event. So welcome to everyone and welcome at Home Spirit. Home Spirit is an independent sofa manufacturer, which is born in 1965 in the north of France near Belgium, as you can see on the map. So my name is François and I'm export manager at Home Spirit. If I had to sum up our company, I would describe it as a pioneer in the field of environmental protection. For example, when we produce our sofas, we never use solvents in our glues for many years. And in addition, 80% of our suppliers are located within 100 kilometers distance from our company. Thanks to our flexibility, at the same time, we are able to deliver individual orders to the shops and to supply the hotel industry or chains of shops. And we can also build with our partner private label collections. We are now, in fact, in the process of recruiting our distribution network in Scandinavia, which mainly consists of high-end shops, concept stores, and interior designers. Our Swedish partners already include prestigious shops such as Artirit in Göteborg, Oskar and Clotilde in Stockholm, and many more. We also have an increasing success in Finland and Denmark. Currently, we are well known for our linen sofas made in France, as the one you can see now on the picture or behind me. If you wish to know more about us, please contact us through our website or through our Swedish agent, Biogas. Of course, we remain at your disposal. Talk to you soon and thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much. Very, very nice products.
Thank you.
Thank you, François. And now for the last pitch, it will be Horus, which couldn't be with us this morning, so we'll record a video. We hope you will all hear it well. So let's start, Jeanne. I don't know. We don't have the sound, Jeanne, please.
Reshare it, sorry.
I'm François Rotaillot, manager and owner of Horus Company. We are a faucet producer located in France. And we are active in your country, in Sweden, thanks to our partnership with Badex for over 25 years. Badex is our dealer, exclusive dealer in your country. They are located in Solna, where they have a nice showroom. Patrick Morsing and his team would be very proud and happy to welcome you over there. Badex and Horus are both small companies. Our turnover at Horus is approximately 5 million euros with 30 employees. And we realize half of our sales abroad in 30 countries. Number one is USA. Number two is Japan. Then countries of Europe, including Sweden. In spite of being a small company, we integrate almost the complete process of our faucet production lines from creation, design, development, production, and control. The key point maybe is that we produce only small series. It means that they are not assembled by machines, by automatic chains, but our employees assemble small series from 1 piece to 10 or 20, never more. Our collections are in three lines, three categories. Classic is at the origin of the company, very traditional designs, but we continue to innovate, to create new lines like this year with our Zephyr, which is Art Deco tendency, as you can see. We have also the contemporary line with specific designs and more standard shapes with, for example, that Equinox, which is stainless steel with 3 PVD colors in addition to our inox. We are very proud to have been awarded by French Minister of Industry with highest distinction, which is Living Heritage Companies, reserved to high-end manufacturers. Our lines are used both by retail and hotel projects. Here are some luxury achievements like Negresco Palace in Nice, Côte d'Azur, probably the most famous palace in Côte d'Azur. Luxury St. chain in Singapore. Specific color. It is a matte satin nickel for that hotel in Marrakesh and other realization in France and in Italy. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for attending. Patrick Morsing in Badex and myself would be happy to give you further indications.
So we are done now with the pitch session, and we will go back to the second part of the seminar this morning with the trend and perspective in the interior decoration market, and we will welcome on stage now, if I can say so, Oskar Norelius. I'm sorry that we are 10 minutes late in the schedule, so for all of you to know. But as we have the question at the end, we will hand on time for all of you to know. It's just that we have to take this into account. So now it's your turn, Oskar. Oskar, you work at White Architecture. You are an architect there and a partner, and you have been working on very interesting project with wood as a core material. So you will present us those projects and your view also of the trend that you see. So wood is maybe the new black. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Let's see if I can get the control over the presentation too. Yeah. Excellent, thank you. Thank you for the introduction as well. I'm very happy to be here. Especially, I'm Swedish, but I grew up in Paris. So this Swedish-French decoration talk is especially interesting for me, I think. I'm the lead architect behind a building that's called the Sara Culture Center. You see a small piece of it on screen now. That is located in northern Sweden in Skellefteå. It's a culture center and hotel of 20 stories that's made entirely out of timber. And it's going to be inaugurated in September this year. And I wanted to show you a bit about the project and what it means to work with timber at this scale, why we're doing it, and some other examples that we've been working on in parallel around the world.
I think you have to say to take to the. You have to ask Jan to.
Okay, I think it's working now.
It's working. So. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. So very quickly about White, we're one of the Scandinavia's leading architectural practices. We work with sustainable architecture, urban design, landscape architecture, and interior design. At various scales, from the larger to the smaller ones. We're about 800 employees in 14 offices, so it's quite a large structure. And what's special about us is that we are entirely employee-owned. This means that we can make our own decisions based on the metrics that we decide for our company. And we also invest a large part of our profits into research. So 2019, which was the last year before the pandemic, we invested 3 million euros in research that is practice-based. So we conduct it within our projects. So we make sure that the new knowledge that we find and generate is applied directly into our projects. And we, of course, have a very special focus on carbon neutral construction and the sustainability issues in the world right now. We were very early in the 90s to employ sustainability experts in our architectural firm, and we're an interdisciplinary firm today, so really at the front edge of sustainable design. And our vision today is that all of our architecture will be climate neutral in 2030 through design excellence. And this, of course, is because this image that may be quite beautiful is also a reminder that the climate is changing, and the decisions that we make today and the plans that we make today will have a huge impact on future generations. And I think regardless of what industry you're in, we're concerned by this development, but in the construction industry especially, in Sweden, more than 20% of the emissions come from construction and real estate. And if we include imported goods that we use to build our buildings here, it's almost twice that. And it's not only emissions, it's also the waste. 30% of the waste in Sweden is generated by construction industry. So we have a large role to play in this. At the same time, we're working with a goal to create human well-being, to create spaces where people can grow and thrive. And we need to keep doing that while understanding and implementing the new knowledge that we're finding about the planetary boundaries. So instead of scaling down and going back and doing less, to adapt to the actual conditions of sustainability, we want to go further, innovate, and create even better and more exciting architecture. And one of the keys to do that is timber. So this is not just a forest. I think it's important to say, this is basically construction material growing out of the ground. So this is a material that we can use to build buildings instead of excavating minerals to create cement and concrete. But it's not just a construction material growing either. It's the forests in Sweden are a habitat for very important ecosystems, and it's a recreational space, so it needs to be both. But the forests in Sweden in 2020 are larger than they were in 1920, and it's still growing every year. So there's a huge potential that we can tap into using timber as a construction material for future buildings. And wood, when it comes to construction material, has all of the same qualities it has when you think of it for furniture, for example, the tactile qualities, the thermal qualities. It's a healthy material. You don't need to use any poisonous chemicals to treat it. But there are other benefits as well. It's a carbon neutral material. It's very lightweight, which is very good when you use it as a construction material. There's no waste, there's plenty of resources, and the construction sites are quite clean. So there are lots of advantages when using timber as a construction material. And I would say that the main advantage, of course, is the carbon footprint. We've been for 30 years maybe looking a lot at the energy use of buildings and producing sustainable energy, green energy. But these last 10 to 20 years, we've been looking more at the impact of the actual construction, of the production of materials and the construction site. And timber, if you replace concrete and steel with timber, you have a much lower emissions from producing this material, but you also get the benefit of carbon sequestration or carbon storage, which means that when you cut down a tree in the forest and create a building component that you put inside a building, you're locking a lot of carbon inside the building that does not get out into the atmosphere. At the same time, if you manage the forest sustainably, you're planting 1 or 2 or 3 trees instead of the one that you cut down. During the building's lifetime, that tree will collect carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And that's the way that we can create buildings that actually reduce the amount of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases in the atmosphere rather than emitting more. So to sum up, what we want to do is achieving high efficiency. This is the office building I'm in right now in Stockholm, Södermalm, which achieved the Casper Schalin-pris in the award in 2003, which is the most prestigious prize in architecture in Sweden. It's also certified Miljöbyggnad Guld, so it's an extremely energy efficient building, but it's made with concrete. And what we want to do is create the next generation of buildings in this lineage with net zero carbon impact. And that's what we set out to do in Skellefteå for the Sara Culture Center. So the building it's located right at the center of the city. Skellefteå has 80,000 inhabitants and is located in the north of Sweden. It's a large development, 30,000 square meters. It's a culture center and a hotel. And it has theaters, library, art galleries in the lower volumes that you can see to the left. And then a hotel that's 20 stories high that you can see at the center of the screen, facing the main square of the city. And of course, 20 stories in timber. This will be the tallest timber building in the world in September when it's inaugurated. The current tallest building is 18 stories. And doing this with a full timber structure, everything is timber. The elevator shafts, the columns, the slabs, the walls, everything is timber. Has had a lot of challenges. It has meant a lot of challenges for us to overcome. But I'd also like to show you what possibilities this opens up when you're designing a building of this scale. So timber is not as strong as concrete. So often when you're doing larger buildings, you end up having quite chunky diagonal structures. And these tend to obstruct the facades and limit the views in and out of the building. But we really work to avoid this in this building, having no diagonals at all, so that passers-by from the main square, like here, can really see what's going on and be enticed in what's going on in the culture center, go inside and take part in the programmation. And using timber in the facades is also quite unique because this is the most urban spot in Skellefteå and this is the tallest building. But we also have this kind of natural material that is historic in the environment, the surroundings of the city, that comes in and shapes the public spaces around the building as well. One key to sustainable buildings today is flexibility. We need to make sure that when we do these large investments and create these large buildings, that they can function for a very long time and adapt to different uses. And for this, long spans without columns or walls is very important. This is not an easy task with timber, so we designed these special trusses that you can see in the ceiling to create these large foyers that can be used for anything from gala dinners to congresses or other types of events. And they actually end up creating the atmosphere in these spaces as well and shaping them, exposing the structural timber inside. And this is quite unique to Sweden in our legislation, that we can expose the actual structure. This is the main theater stage where the structure is exposed as well. Other countries are working hard at developing their legislations that were built for a concrete and steel industry, but they're adapting and coming along, I would say. But Sweden and Scandinavia is quite unique today, where we can show this much of the structure inside. And this also, of course, reduces the need for interior finishes, which also reduces the need for material in the building as it is. This is true even for the foyers. On the left is an early vision image. On the right, an image from the construction site a few months ago. The built reality is very close to what we first envisioned 5 years ago. I'll also say that this was actually a design competition that we won 5 years ago, and we were working on it since. In the hotel rooms in the high rise, you can also really touch and feel the structure. So as you have a new perspective over the city and the surroundings, you can also feel the warmth of the wood and the closeness to nature in a way that you're looking out onto. It's quite special. Top floor has a restaurant, sky bar, and a spa. This is a very complex situation. You need to have vertical transportation to bring everyone up and down. There's fire regulation issues, but it's really important to keep these very high ambitions when you do tall buildings and modern buildings, that when people see this landmark, you can actually access the top. It's a very important democratic question for us. And we actually managed to do it even though this is timber as well. So this is something we're very proud of. And this is another image from the construction site where you can see the exposed timber as it is. And this is almost a finished ceiling, I would say. And using timber, of course, is something that has been done for a very long time in Skellefteå in smaller buildings. It's part of the tradition and the local heritage. It's an important part of their industry as well. So all of this timber is sourced within a radius of about 200 kilometers. So it's locally grown, but it's also a very unique space, of course, that we hope that the inhabitants will be proud of and that they can use as their new living room. And it's quite difficult when you walk through these spaces to understand that this is industrialized construction. It feels more like fine carpentry almost, because the precision when working with timber, even at this scale, is extreme. We also had to maximize the benefits of timber being a lightweight material to make this project possible. What you see at the center of the screen is a hotel room. These are prefabricated as boxes in a factory about 50 kilometers from the site. And then they're delivered 2 and 2 on trucks every day and stacked on top of each other. So the construction is extremely fast. It's very efficient. The 205 rooms were all built on a chain in a factory with very good working conditions. And they're fitted with the bathroom, with the tiling, with the faucets, all of the electrical installations. Everything is done ahead and it's just plugged in on site. This is a view of the tower as it's topped out this winter. And another one from the ground. And all in all, when this building stands, it will actually remove about 550 tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Even though it's a large building, it's providing new spaces indoors for the inhabitants of Skellefteå. It actually can have a positive impact on the environment. And I just wanted to conclude to show you a few other examples that we've been working on alongside Skellefteå. And after this, this is in Montreal, where it's not possible to use timber in the facades. This is a timber structure we designed for the Reinventing Cities competition. But these buildings, when they really are developed with sustainability in mind, they have a different story to tell. So the facades here were developed specifically to be habitats for endangered species that are important to the local ecosystem. The balconies have special planters so that the residents can grow their own food, becoming less dependent on surrounding agriculture. And this is also, of course, an expression of an industrialized food production plant that is located in the basement, a hydroponic plant. The interiors, Scandinavian, looking out onto a Montreal skyline in that project. And another project in Helsinki where we're invited by the city to develop a headquarter and office space with a high-end hotel right at the center of the city in Katajanokka, where we based the design on the surrounding harbor using this gridded facade as a connection to the container ships that pass every day, and also this waved roof that's an allegory, an image from the water and the archipelago that's surrounding. And this would have been quite standard to do with a concrete structure. But with timber, it really required us to innovate and create a completely new structure. The entire structure is made from LVL, or laminated veneer lumber, which is basically an oversized plywood. So the surfaces of all of these elements is a veneer. So the building almost becomes like a shelf or a cabinet where the employees can work and collaborate together and finding new applications for timber-based products. And the hotel lobby gives onto an inner courtyard where we grafted, or proposed to graft pristine forest, so you really can close the circle between the raw material growing and the application in the final building. I'll zoom through the last one, which is in Munich in Germany. I see that the time is running out. This was a multi-tenant office building we worked on last summer for tech companies. And historically, you might think tech, it means glass, steel, and concrete when you think of architecture. But today, it's actually an expression of sustainability and nature. They all want timber. And the fire regulations that are quite specific in Germany led us to concentrate the use of timber to this central atrium, where these companies can come together and collaborate in a very specific, special environment. The Culture Center is inaugurated in September the 8th. You're all welcome to Skellefteå. A week later, we have an exhibition in Berlin at the AIDAS Forum about the building as well. You're welcome to participate in that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Oskar. Very inspiring projects and many projects with wood as the core material. So last, welcome to Stefan Nilsson, and thank you, Stefan, to wait for us with our 10 minutes French delay, I would say. But as said, we will hand on time. That's the goal, and we are very happy also to have you this morning. We start talking with Oskar on sustainability, and we will continue with you. You will actively talk about greenwashing and sustainability. Is activism pushing the new boundaries of a more sustainable world? So we are very happy to have you today. So I won't say this morning. Now it's nice lunch in Sweden. So we listen to you. Welcome.
Okay. So should I share my screen? Is that the way we should do it, or should you do it?
No,
okay.
Jeanne
will do it. Okay, I will ask for control. And yeah. Okay. Bonjour. I speak very fast, and I have like 1 million pictures. So yeah, you're recording this, Solin. So maybe you could watch it afterwards, because I'm going to try to speak as fast and thoroughly as possible. I tried to do something, and then there I think is next slide. So okay, what I'm doing, I'm working with trends. I'm trying to forecast the lifestyle, the way we live, and how we make our choices. That's my job. Normally I'm constantly traveling. I go to all the fairs. I do like 20 fairs per year, and I travel the world to see all the things that's happening out there. And what I do is, when I do my trend report and think about the future, is I look a lot to statistics. I look at everything that's statistically accurate, like how do we move, what do we eat, what choices do we make. And then I do like tons of interviews with every kind of person, if it's a designer or it's a private person or it's a design company. I look into historical context, meaning have we seen this before? Of course, a lot of people now during the pandemic have been talking about other illnesses that we've had, other pandemics, and you're trying to refer, what can we learn from that? Or can we make any parallels to that? And the last part is, of course, the fairs that I do. I do observations, which is more like hands-on seeing. Is it going to be yellow? Is it going to be more focused on kitchens? So this is the job I do. And I can't really do this anymore because everything has been under lockdown. So what I do is I read a lot. I sit by my desk and I try to do interviews, but you can't really see any new things. And this is, of course, also affecting the way we think about trends and the future. So where are we going? I'm going to be focusing on, I mean, where are we going? What's going to happen to our workspace? This is an example from a design studio in Germany. They've been doing these sort of like things that you put on the wall so you can lean your head on while reading a book. And yeah, this might be the true vision of how the future office will look like. But the honest truth is that no one really knows. We think that we might go back and we might work from home a little bit. We really don't know. All the larger companies, especially now there have some references to America, they're saying that you can stay at home forever or for a longer time. But we don't know, not even in September, are we coming back to our offices. So what will office design, what will trends in offices look like? No one really knows. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, another example is what kind of things will we eat after or during the pandemic? I mean, logically, if you think logically, you would look at healthy food because the pandemic is an illness. So you want to build your barrier, you want to boost your body. So the logical solution is that you should eat healthy food, more focus on vegetables, healthy eating, and etc. But what we also see is that people are eating a much more comfort food because you're bored by being on your own at home. So you want to treat yourself because you feel pity for yourself. So yes, who knows what kind of food trends we will see. And I have these two examples as a reference so you understand that how difficult trend forecasting is because we don't really know where we're going. I will be talking about 4 areas now, which are, I mean, some people call it mega trends. I don't think it's more important because you use the word mega, but I'm going to be focusing on these 4 areas because I think they're very relevant, especially to this audience. So where we are. Again, I'm speeding up the speed now. Hold your horses. It's going to be fast. So in the health segment, yeah, we are going to see that people are eating more healthy because it's also a trend that we've seen before. So the vegetarian lifestyle, the vegan lifestyle is growing and it's going to maintain. And we're going to be more focusing on making our bodies stronger so we can last longer and maintain another pandemic if that happens. But we're also going to see our homes going to be changed. Are we going to let in the kids in the kitchen in the future? You say automatically, yes, of course the kids should be in the kitchen, but the kids are dirty. Yeah, kids are dirty. They bring in soil into the kitchen. And should you have dirty kids while you cook? You understand? Of course, I'm exaggerating a bit, but I mean, it's important to have that mindset. These things that we've seen logical and normal might change because the scare of being ill or falling under a new pandemic might be stronger than we actually have seen before. But in a kitchen display or in our homes, of course, we're going to see more touchless design. And in general, in our public spaces, because this is something we've learned, you don't want to touch things. So of course, you're not going to have any faucets in the kitchens. The doors are going to be self-opening. The elevators are not going to be having buttons, and everything much more in our life will be touchless design because by touching things, you're spreading the virus, spreading germs. I'm moving on, as I said, I'm doing this super quick. I'm moving on to the next chapter, which is community. And these are pictures from my personal life. And I'm trying to have an after work thing with my dad and my younger brother. And we're having a Christmas party digital with my friends. And this is dead boring. I mean, this is not replacing a physical meeting. It's not. This is something we've learned. And we talked about in the initial stages of the pandemic, we talked about, oh, now we're going to do much more things online. And I doubt that because it's not replacing the physical meeting. And one thing is for sure, after the pandemic is over, we want to meet physically. We want to do that like quadruple times. We want to meet more than ever because we realize that the digital meeting is not replacing the actual meeting. But I'm talking about the community also because I want to talk about these kids. These are my nephews. I'm sharing now very much of my private portfolio pictures, but these are my nephews, or 3 of them anyway. And how do they feel? I want to talk about the younger generation because we don't do that. And I mean, over this morning, no one has actually mentioned these people. They are a big part of our future. And how do they feel? They feel pretty crap. And we know that. We know that since before. We've seen statistics before that this generation, regardless of what letter you put it, I mean, this generation, they're singles longer, they're more depressed, they don't drink, they don't socialize. So we have lots of figures and statistics showing that this generation is really, really depressed. And now the lockdown has made them even feeling worse. I mean, this number, this is an important and interesting slide. These are statistics from America, and America is of course different from the rest of the world. But what it says is that 52%, over half of the younger generation have been forced to move to mom and dad during the pandemic. And how do they feel? What would you feel if you were forced, not voluntarily, but you were forced to move home to your mom again? I mean, these people are totally different from the rest of us, and they are struggling with different issues than we have before. So yeah, speaking about community, they are depressed, and I think that we need to address community much more. Another report that I took part of was the one that Spotify did, and they did that just before Christmas, and they say about the new generation, again, regardless of what letter you put to it, they say that 67% of the younger generation don't think that we, the older ones, can fix it. I think this is extremely interesting. Like 2/3 of the younger generations don't think that we can solve the situation for them. They need to take care of it on their own. And this is scary and also, of course, an opportunity. But we need to talk about these kids. We need to talk about this generation. What I see, we talk about sort of like what I can see as a trend hunter is that I see that we're looking into roots much more. We're looking to where we come from. We're looking to heritage and roots much more than we've done before. These are Swedish images, and this is also, Lotta did some references to the school of Beckmans, but these are pictures from the school of Konstfack, also in Stockholm. But this is an example of a student. He had been looking at bricks. A factory was making bricks in the 19th century, and the discarded bricks was tossed into the lake of Vänern. And he sort of like went there and took out those discarded bricks and made stools that he could put into the garden. And they're like, if you like it or not, it's irrelevant. It's not interesting, but it's the story of it that sort of touches us. And you talk about roots much more. This is a girl who went studying into textiles, and she did a project about the way we celebrate midsummers. And talking about the Swedish flag. What does the Swedish flag mean to this generation? Can you walk on the Swedish flag or can you not? So speaking about heritage and roots is extremely important to this generation. Now we have the second slide with Greta on it, and I want to talk about activism, because this is something that we see, that especially this younger generation, they're taking the streets and they're protesting and they're skipping the rules that we've set. So activism is growing, but not only in sustainability, but also in other issues. I think this magazine, the Vogue September issue from last year, this is American Vogue, they did a dedicated issue with people of color, and I would say that this is the most important issue in a long time. And I will compare this issue to the same result that Vanity Fair had, 15 years ago, when they did a green issue. This is on the cover of the green issue, you see Al Gore. This is the same time that he did the movie An Unconventional Truth. And this is sort of like giving the birth of the modern sustainability issue. And I say that the Vogue issue is giving birth to a new talk about representation, race, origin, belonging, etc. And I think that we're going to see much more about that. And you see that especially now in America, and that's going to be influencing the rest of Europe. And we're going to have different perspectives, and that's a whole different seminar. I'm not going to go into that, but just remember that activism with color and representation is going to be growing. Again, these are sort of like ads that you see now every day, and you need to have representation in everything you do. You need to have people of color and indigenous people, etc., etc. Speaking about activism and care and comforting, I think that one of the most interesting architects right now is Kurt Siegel. And what he's doing is doing totally different perspective. This is in Malmö again. What he's doing is he is building houses, and he's also being that landlord, and he's sort of like taking care of you as a tenant. What he does is he's giving you bus cards. Everyone who's renting an apartment in this house gets a bus card, and he makes sure you can park your bike, and he has a garbage sorting station, etc. So taking care of people is going to be important as well, because we need someone to help us live a better life, and he, as a landlord, is doing that. An interesting name to take note of. Well, sustainability. Where do we stand in sustainability issue? I know that everyone's talking about it, but where are we really? Well, when something gets hot, it gets used and it gets monetized, and this is happening right now as well. But it's still very important. What we see is that 75% of American consumers say that sustainability is important, and you would choose a sustainable product rather than the unsustainable one. So it's really, really still accurate to talk about sustainability, but we need to be aware of greenwashing, of course. What do you feel when Coca-Cola calls themselves a sustainable company? What does your gut tell you? How do you feel? Because we all know this is not a sustainable company, and it doesn't matter how many sustainable products they're going to be launching. We are hesitant to that. And that's the same thing with brands like, this is Adidas, which now just a few weeks ago launched their new recycled shoes. And what do you feel? What does your gut tell you when a big brand like Adidas is calling themselves sustainable? And this is something now we're going to see more of. And what do you feel about all these products being pushed to the market that you never asked for? Up in the left corner are flower pots that are so naturally made that you can put them straight into the ground and the soil. You have bamboo toilet paper, and you have a cord made of something that's found in the oceans. You have boots made of recyclable boots. You have the handle of the knife that's made of recycled material, and you of course have the whole tencel, the wood fiber materials that people are making fashion out of right now. And we've never asked for that. And these sustainable products are just being pumped onto the market right now. And what does that make you feel? And this is now when we're going to see a big debate about greenwashing. And we've just seen the initial stages about that. So all of you brands who are out there, just be aware. People are going to be monitoring you, and they're going to question you, and they're going to be like screens and signs out there of brands saying they are sustainable, and they're not proving their case. Moving on. This is the most interesting slide of the whole presentation. This is the most interesting slide of the whole presentation. I said that now twice, but this is the statistics. Down in the left corner, you see the source of this information. What this is interesting, and this is tying back to the younger generation, what this is doing, they've been looking into when I say sustainability, what do you think? What do you refer to, or what do you make an example of when you call something sustainable? Well, everyone who's older, that's me, I'm super old, I would say something that's long lasting. And that's sustainable. It's lasting for generations. People can inherit it, or it's made out of recycled materials. That's something I would say is a sustainable option. But what do the younger generation say? Well, they say that it's animal-free or vegan or ethical. And this is the shift now that I'm trying to make examples of. We see a shift of how people are now going to be looking more into representation and inclusiveness rather than the actual just what does the material come from. So this is something that we're going to see explode. And this is statistically accurate. So there is a difference. Ask anyone or your younger people that you're hanging around with. There's a difference between what do you identify as being sustainable and what do you not see as sustainable. And that's interesting. There's a huge shift now between the older generation and the younger generation. Moving on. Well, as a trend, of course, we're going to see now a huge evolution of upcycling. There's a difference in terminology again. We talk about recycling, we talk about downcycling, and right now we see the younger design generation talking about upcycling, meaning that you take something that's trash and you make it into a vase. I'm exaggerating a bit, of course, but what it means is that you're doing something that's trash and make it into something nice. This is, of course, an example from Sweden, which is a lamp that someone has made, and it's super nice and it's super good looking. And I think that we're going to be seeing more unique objects, less mass production. So all of you who's trying to do something for an audience of 20 million people, forget about it. We're going to be looking for smaller scale things, and we're going to be looking for unique objects because the consumer behavior is changing. So this is what I'm trying to talk about. I've talked about the health, how we now, because of the pandemic, the health is going to be extremely important. We want to have healthy options around us. We don't want to spread germs. Community is extremely important because we've been alone. We don't want to have anything more on Zoom or Teams. I'm sorry, Solene, but this is the last time. Next time we're going to see each other physically. So we're dead tired of the screen. No more screen time, please. It's more important to talk about screen-free Friday Fridays than anything else. Screen-free Fridays, remember that. We talked about activism, how people are taking the streets and you want to be protesting. And we talked about sustainability and also how sustainability is slightly but surely changing to more social values than actually just green things. I think my last 3 slides are examples of just how the big brands are now. Oh, yeah. Here is a Swedish example that everyone should be aware of. Jalla trappan. Trappa means stairs. It's about a refugee project in southern parts of Sweden. How people are meeting together, cooking together, sewing together, and making products in a small scale. And Jalla trappan is going to be the most important brand in Sweden, I think, I dare to call. But it's interesting also to see how our large brands, IKEA and H&M, how they are now adopting this. Lotta also had an example of how H&M is doing that. And H&M is really pushing now, and you're seeing how they're trying to move away from consumerism. This is the main thing. They don't want to be associated with consumerism. They want to be associated with something else. Reppa mera means basically repair more. So when you go to an H&M store, you can pick up a plastic bag and throw in your torn things and send it to Reppa mera, and they will send it back to you. I just did that. I just got back a pair of jeans. I should show it to you basically, but I'm not gonna. I had a pair of jeans and I throw it into the bag to Reppa mera, and I got it back fully functional, fully fine. 250 kronor. That's 25 euros. That's including packaging and shipping and everything. So who needs to buy things when you can repair more? And also, lastly, you see, of course, IKEA is absolutely addressing this, and IKEA is really, really hungry on this area. And it's interesting that they, in November for Black Friday, did Buy Back Friday, and they're focusing a lot on the second life cycle of objects. And they have a whole new department store with only vintage and secondhand IKEA products. A whole department store in Eskilstuna with no new things, only old IKEA things. And that's my 20 minutes, I think, Celine, right?
Yeah, right on time. Perfect. But yeah, many ideas. And I really, yeah, thank you for all, for opening up to us and for highlighting all those trends. What I like, what I also notice is like it's going to be more unique objects and definitely more upcycling, and as we know, the young generation is going to guide us. But thank you very much for this morning. I hope you have you stay until the end with us. I hope we have some minutes left at the end if we have some spontaneous question at the end. Now we will go on to the last part of this morning, which is a second session. Pitch session with 6 brands for participating to the French Design Corner in Sweden, and that we hope can be interesting products and collections for your projects and or for your stores. So please welcome Inplanta, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be with you today. My name is Jérôme Debord. I'm the sales manager of Inplanta, a young company based in Limoges in the center of France. Inplanta has been created in 2018 and is at the origin of a concept which consists in growing living plants in designer glass cases thanks to a 100% natural nutritive gel without any maintenance thanks to the vitroculture technology. Based on the observation that interior decoration has become a priority in many countries around the world, and that the return to values close to nature and plants constitute a strong trend at present, we have imagined living plants that we could see growing without having to take care of it and allowing to have a design and aesthetic decorative object. As you can see on this short video, we work in a sterile environment and on a totally natural culture medium. Seeds or plant fragments are sanitized before being planted in sterile conditions in a container containing the nutrient gel. For each stage of plant development and for each plant species, Inplanta designs and develops specific nutrient gels composed mainly of water, mineral salts, sugar, vitamins, and gelling agents of natural origin. A miniature ecosystem is thus recreated. The originality of our plantaphore also lies in the glass container, which comes from the world of laboratories. The bottles are enhanced by several eco-designs bases created with designers and manufactured by local companies using materials sourced from the region, a combination of metal, woods, and porcelain. Naturally sensitive to the preservation of our living environment, Implanta incorporates an eco-design approach to limit the environmental impact of its production. Of our plants and ingredients are 100% natural. Implanta values and preserves plant diversity. In France, we are already working with big distribution chains specialized in gardening, botanique, and truffaut, and also specialized in decoration, Nature et Découverte, with whom we have chosen to work in white label. We also have a representative network of florists, concept stores, and decoration stores throughout France and also in Belgium and Italy. We want to develop our export presence, and the Scandinavian market is of particular interest to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we hope to see your plantaphore more in the Nordic countries.
I hope so, too.
And now we will go on to the next pitch. And we will welcome Gilles for Instant.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Gilles Chantelot from the company Inman. I'm very happy to be here with you this morning. Inman is a young innovative company, and we have developed a wall of new type of shower, intelligent and elegant, allowing a more sober use of water while improving the comfort of its users. And its name is Stell. You can switch the slide. Its name is Stell. Okay, at first, Stell is a smart shower with new features, totally exclusive on the market. You can control the system using a touch interface, totally operating underwater. You can see at the next slide. Each user can save and launch their own profiles, even remotely. It allows you to get on hot water directly without waste, and also modulates the jet according to your positions under or outside the shower jet, and intelligently regulates the flow rates to optimize water consumptions. Stell is also an elegant and premium product. It has a high quality full height glass front and neat and innovative design. It's offer modern and accessory and also many customization options. With Stell, we offers a new shower experience, designed products in France that allow to open a new page in the history of the bathroom. That's a sustainable wellness and well-being. We market now in France, in neighboring countries, and we are looking for new opportunities. And in particular, you will stand in the Scandinavian markets. We are therefore at your disposal, provides you more details and information, and I thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Gilles. And now we'll hear a bit more about Petite Friture, even if Petite Friture has been is already well known, I would say, in the Nordic countries. So we will welcome Aude, and we know that behind her, agent Michael from Planoform is not far away. So welcome, Aude.
Thank you, Celine. Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm Aude Debar, the head of contract at Petite Friture, and so happy to introduce Michael Van Tannen from Planoform, our agent in Scandinavia for many years. Next slide, please. So Petite Friture is a French design editor launched over 10 years ago by a lady, Amélie Dupassage, who is also the CEO and the creative director. She's been bringing a refreshing eye in the industry, venturing off the beaten track and creating new talents. And the term libre garde that we like to use is a perfect definition of our ethos, a good mix of intuition, daring, and accuracy. It all started with the Vertigo lamp, really, which has now become an icon. Next slide. So from the very beginning, sustainability has been at the core of Petite Friture DNA in designing quality products that our clients would cherish and pass on to their children. We try to talk about positive force, and we have more recently implemented circular initiatives to give a second life to our products, and also offering spare parts to allow our creation to last even longer. As a design editor, Petite Friture has partnered with independent designers, roughly 40, from various backgrounds and countries, with also 20 different manufacturers and craftsmen, mostly based in France, and some of them being living heritage enterprises, actually. And Petite Friture is proud to build a responsible value chain together with its 30 people team, reflecting diversity and inclusion. Next slide. We have built a comprehensive catalogue spanning lighting, furniture, including outdoor furniture and accessories, designed by both up-and-coming talents, such as Anne Harvala, who is a young Swedish designer you may know. She graduated from the Beckmans College of Design in 2017. And we also collaborate with more established designers, such as Fergan Blanche, and earlier on, Lotta was mentioning the Mischiefs, and Emma Blanche is actually part of this collective. We also collaborate with designers like Studio Pepe from Milan. Our collections have been displayed in renowned stores such as Le Bon Marché and Silvera in Paris, Rosanna Orland in Milan, Harrods in London, and Nordiska Galleriet in Stockholm. Next slide. So for contract clients, we have devised a tailor-made approach with exclusive references made to order and fabric customization for upholstered armchairs and sofas. Yeah. Last but not least, we have collaborated with widely acclaimed interior designers and architects to deliver state-of-the-art projects all over the world for demanding clients such as luxury brands, Chanel Group, media companies, Netflix, Microsoft, hospitality brands, Hilton, Hyatt, Soho House, etc., and even institutions and embassies. We very much look forward to welcoming you in France in our new office and showroom in Montreuil, which is just a stone's throw from Paris city center, to embark you in a joyful experience. So if some of you go to Paris in September for Design Week, we'd be very happy to welcome you if you can travel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aude. And we will welcome now, I hope, Sébastien. Stanislas couldn't join us because of a personal issue today, but I think his colleague Sébastien is here.
Okay, so hi everybody, my name is Sébastien, and I'm a lighting engineer working for Samod Lighting. Samod was created in 1927, and it's an independent family business. All the production is in east of France, and we have 40 persons working there in this factory. The head office is in Paris. 20 persons are working in this office. On the next slide, you will see that we are working for more than 19 years to eliminating everyone everywhere for indoors and outdoors applications. Why? Because Samod has invented the lighting tubular system for industrial application. These products are robust, functional, reliable. In one word, we can say that they are durable. In this picture, you can see a very big and famous project with offices, hotels, restaurants. This project is in Paris. We have provided more than 4,000 lighting features. So this is exceptional project. And on the other hand, we have some everyday projects, perhaps on the next slide, with more than 90% of our business are made with this project with less than 30 pieces. As you can see there, we have some special production made for public area on the left in Germany by our research and development department. When we have some special requests from architects, we can create some special lighting fittings. So Germany on the left and a restaurant in Italy on the right. On the next slide, you will see that we have some special product with special grid to avoid glare. That it means that we can join comfortable lighting and efficient lighting. On the next slide, we have some special fittings made with lighting designer, creator, architect we are working with. As a conclusion, we can say that Samod is like a Range Rover. You can use the product every day and everywhere. But when you choose one of our products, you get more than a functional, comfortable, and design lighting. You also have intelligence and services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. Thank you that you could be with us today. It's in very and presenting us those fantastic lighting from Samod. Now we will welcome Mikael, agent in Sweden for CFAS.
Hello everyone, my name is Mikael Dedagården and I'm working with Dedagården Agenturer and Design Embassy, which is focusing on international premium design brands. So CFAS, next slide please. So CFAS was born in the 1950s in Cannes at the French Riviera, so the inspiration and design DNA is very much from the cultural and art movement at that period. And also the elegance and the style is coming from all the international stars gathering for decades at the French Riviera. Next slide, please. So CFAS is an international brand represented in 45 countries all over the world with separate distribution in North America and South America and Asia as well. Next slide, please. So beside having high quality, it has French design and many flexible solutions and combinations where you really can create your personal outdoor space. CFAS is focusing on carefree products, so you should not have to spend a lot of time and energy on taking care of your furniture. You can just enjoy and use it and leave it outside in weather and wind. And the cushions are produced in a special way so that water don't go into the cushions and it will be dry in just a few minutes. CFAS motto is also that products should not run out of stock even at the end of the season, so they have invested in extremely high stock levels so you can have a quick delivery all year round. Next slide please. So just to have a quick look on the different collections. So Comfy collection is one of the, or it's actually the most sold seat concept in Europe, where you have a lot of different combinations. You can go to next slide, please. And you have the Riviera collection, Basket, Coco collection, which is more Provençal, and Cross collection, which is one of the few collections on the market in classical style, which is really well. Next slide, please. And then you have Coral, Calif, and Oskar and Quadra collection. And most of the collections, they are running for many years, so it's possible for a consumer to buy more from the same collection after a few years. And we are selling to both residential, restaurants and hotels. So that's all from CFAS.
Thank you very much, Mikael, and thank you for I know that you used to talk more in Swedish and English was that. Thank you to make the effort for us this morning. So
no problem. You're welcome. Thank you.
yeah, and the last the pitch for this morning it will be with Tannery Sovos. So welcome on stage, Jacques, for your 3 minutes presentation before the conclusion of this seminar today.
Thank you. Hello. Glad to meet you. So I am Jacques Desbrosses. I'm working in the tannery for 20 years now. We are a small tannery based in the east of France, close to the Switzerland border. A tannery is a place where we produce leather. We produce only custom-made full-grain cow or bull hide leather. Our tannery offers a large variety of quality leathers in custom-made size. We have 3 finished: aniline, semi-aniline, and pigmented. Also, we can add 60 patterns which can emboss the leather, and we can do all these mechanical on 1,300 colors which can propose and craft, integrating choice and customer satisfaction with technical and tradition. We produce from 1 skin to 1,000 skin. That means we have no minimum of production. Human and environmental ethics. Thanks to its extensive and rich expertise, the tannery trains its own associates during a 3-year period. This is very important in our tannery, because to form an employee, it's between 3 and 10 years. The purpose is that they might best meet the request and expectation of their clients. And as a result, the incoming tanners are multi-skilled, fully mastering of the art of the trade. The tannery team encompasses skills and expertise in precision, discipline, quality, and demand. While the tannery has a human aspect, it also adheres to an environmental approach. As well, the hides obtained from cattle farming come from Bavaria in South Germany, Normandy and Brittany, which are in the west of France. All these skins are recycled and treated in accordance with rich regulation. Next slide. All these are pictures, modern one and old one. I just give you the game to find the old ones. It was in the 1930s in our tanneries. Next slide. So we are a very old world heritage and now modern artisans. The tannery has been created in 1864. This family-operated tannery has successfully passed on its expert craftsmanship and skill to the present day. In 2010, 6 former employees revived the tannery's operation with a focus on luxury upholstery leather. We are now 12 employees, and today Sovos Grosjean Tannery is working in aviation, aircraft, yachtism, architectural and interior design sectors. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacques. Thank you for this very ancestral and for the know-how of your company. Thank you everyone for the seminar today. I would like to thank you all our speakers, to Lotta, Matali, Oskar and Stefan for very inspiring presentation this morning, and all our French companies giving us a bit of a French touch of what they could do and their know-how that we hope can be of interest for your interior decorations project. And now I will give the word to the ambassador of France to Sweden to give for the conclusion words. So please, Etienne de Gonville, I'm very pleased that you could join us this morning.
Thank you very much, Soline, and thank you to all the participants to the seminar. Can you hear me well, Soline? Yeah. No, I understood you had very fruitful discussions this morning, and I am extremely happy as the new ambassador of France to Sweden to see that we are able to exchange ideas, projects between professionals of interior decoration and design. This is truly an area in which both Sweden and France have a worldwide reputation, and it shows the very high quality of our partnership and of our ambitions. You may know that between France and Sweden, since 2017, we have a strategic partnership for innovation and green solutions. So it concentrates on areas such as green energy, green transportation, sustainable cities, etc. But of course, the area of interior design and decoration is a part of it. And I think the content of your discussions today really matched the spirit of our partnership. You discussed the life post-COVID, the health dimension of the demand today, the importance of sustainability, of the circular economy, the needs and the demand coming from the new generations that are going to be the new animators of this relationship between France and Sweden. So I am, again, extremely happy that this seminar could happen despite the pandemic. My only regret, of course, is that we could not organize it at the French residence, Le Palais Broms, the Bromska Palatset in Stockholm, where we had the opportunity to host such an event 2 years ago. But there will be better times, and I have no doubt that this will come back. I have a few personalities to thank for this seminar this morning. Matali Crasset for sharing her electric and unique approach of design. Lotta Ahlvar for sharing with us trends within the interior that are going to stay even after the pandemic. Stefan Nilsson for his insights regarding sustainability in the industry. And Oskar Norelius for illustrating some inspiring projects with wood as a core material. And I have a special thank to the team of Business France in the Nordics, and Solid in particular, for all the hard work that has been done to organize this seminar despite the circumstances, and for making it a success. So thanks to you as well. Do not hesitate to continue to interact, to visit the digital showroom, which I understand will stay open for a few days. And please do something of this seminar and of those exchanges, and make Sweden and France more natural partners and leaders in innovation and green transition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you that you could join us today. Thank you. I know we are a bit late. It's a bit the French style here. We will try to, but if some of you have questions, I think maybe if we can still, we have 5 minutes maybe for spontaneous questions. Otherwise, it could be, you are very welcome also to send them to us after. But please, I see that Lotta and Stefan and Oskar are still here. Thank you very much not to go and for lunch already. So please, all the participants that, yeah, you see, it's time to eat. Please do. I think I have talked too much, so it's time for other to talk now.
I can start. I have to say I enjoyed to listen to your presentations, and there are also so many things in common, and especially seeing Oskar and Matali, the differences between the two countries as well, with a colorful presentation and your very, to me, Swedish, how should I say, scripture of interior and architectural design. Beautiful.
Thank you, Lotta. And yeah, we had a question. It will be possible to watch the seminar afterwards. We will send the record to all the participants, and and don't hesitate to send it to some of your contacts too. I don't know. Do we have other spontaneous comments?
Perhaps just a very quick question. Celine, Stefan was mentioning that people want to reunite and to see physically instead of digitally. But at the same time, how will this be reconciled with less travel? Because obviously travel is not good for sustainability.
Yeah, good question, a trick question. Everything's going to be local. I mean, local is going to grow immensely. Everything's going to grow local. So yeah, meetings locally. But I think that travel is going to come back because our need to meet each other again is so strong. It's so strong. It's unbelievable.
Thank you.
I also have a perspective of that. I think in a way we also got used to this format, and sometimes it's really, how should I say, practical that you can do also a combination of the digital. And I think, as you said, Stefan, who knows how long time before this is really over. So I think we still have to live in this in-between world, but at least some people get to meet the ones who have had the vaccine and so on. So, but it's I think it's interesting time, and I think also with von der Leyen perspective on us being in the creative industry, rebuilding the society, and also not only from a sustainable perspective, but she's also mentioning the aesthetics. And that I think is so fascinating. So I think we're living in the best of times. I have a question to you, Stefan, regarding the health aspect. What do you think about it in Sweden?
How do you mean? I mean, health is going to be, I think.
How trendy will we go? Because I think we have seen this in major cities like New York, Paris, and London. The urge of instead of having maybe another retail shop in a shopping mall, there would be a fitness center, or there would be a health bar or a juice bar or something. And also with the retail business being really badly affected by the COVID, how do you think it will look in Sweden?
I think, well, on several levels. Of course, everything in the health aspect is going to be included. So everything from gyms to vegetarianism to anything that's building the body, but also keeping the germs away. But also we're going to say things like, I am washing my hands 50 times per day or not. Because, I mean, it's like the brag ritual. We're going to be talking about things that's going to be healthy. Or I mean, now when we're looking into travel over the summer, you look into like hotels locally, because you can only travel locally so far. You look at hotels there. I have a health regulation. So we like health. We're drawn to health right now, especially. And then we're going to see how it evolves. I think we will forget it in a year or two, but for now we're there, especially because of the pandemic. Like in the 80s, Lotta, when we had the cholesterol debate, you know, the cholesterol debate with, you know, should you eat eggs or not? I mean, is cholesterol bad or good? Or the sugar debate that we had in the noughties, like 10 years ago, where everyone was talking about sugar. And now we're going to talk about health as in our bodies. We want to have a strong and healthy body. And I think that we will look at people who are too slim or too muscular as being unhealthy. I mean, the health ideal is there.
And is this something you're working with in your projects, Oskar?
You talk about wood and health. I saw that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in buildings, of course, but also in urban design, designing for a healthy lifestyle. I mean, mobility is a key aspect on enabling people to move. without using, I mean, first of all, individual transportation, but also actually walking and biking. So the 15-minute city is something that has been revived during the pandemic, bringing things closer in local centers around the cities, and polycentric cities, where you have not just one center at the center, but several ones. But also in buildings, designing them to encourage people to move, to actually using stairs not just as a function that's closed behind doors, but something that's integrated with the design so that you're not automatically taking the elevator. So that's more about movement, I'd say. And then, of course, I think we're going to see, it takes a bit of time in our industry, but we're going to see new standards for space around circulations and a way of accessing buildings. And there are some very interesting office buildings in France actually being developed where you can access the levels from outside individually, for example, so that you don't have to actually meet everyone in the circulations. But this is in contrast with what Stefan is saying, that everyone wants to meet. And it's when you do meet that you actually have these new ideas that come to life. So it is an issue that we're working with, absolutely.
I think also from a health perspective, I think that next time we meet each other, one of the French brands is going to be working with air sanitation, air pollution, air, like everything. So that's also from a health perspective. So next time, or Petit Couture is launching a new product, but that's sort of like cleaning the air in our homes or whatever, or restaurants.
I think someone would like to ask a question. I don't know if she's still here. Stephanie, I see that you show your hand on the screen here. Would you like to ask a question? No, maybe not. Okay. Okay, sorry for that. I thought that someone had a other spontaneous question. Yeah, but I think we will end the seminar for today. Thank you again, all of you, for joining us this morning. I'm very happy that we had so many of you, and as said, we will send to all of you the film of this morning, and please talk about the French Design Corner to your contacts and visit this platform. It has been creating very for the needs of the Swedish market here. So don't hesitate. And of course, all the team are here to help you. And thanks again to all the French brands that could be part of it this morning. Thanks again, and very much for our very inspiring speakers this morning, and also for the ambassador that could join us today. So thank you to all of you, and we are very happy to work on these projects and to have also strong partners with us on this project, like Le Via within design in France, and like l'Ameublement Français within furniture. Have a nice day to everyone.
See you in Paris.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Soline.
Bye-bye.